Recent revelations from The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Carter's long-held dream of becoming a father may face an unexpected detour, and the uncertainty surrounding that possibility hangs heavily over his relationship with Daphne. At the heart of this story is not simply the question of whether Daphne may struggle with infertility, but whether two people who love each other can survive the pressure that such a fear creates. Daphne's longing for motherhood is real and deeply felt, yet it is inseparable from her need to feel chosen without reservation. She wants a child, yes, but only with someone who can give her absolute emotional loyalty, someone who will not divide his heart between ambition, obligation, and love. Carter's dramatic proposal, falling to one knee, was more than a romantic gesture. It was a vow meant to silence every doubt and prove that his devotion is neither conditional nor fleeting. Still, beneath that promise lies a quieter tension. Daphne values her career and independence, and she is keenly aware that life rarely allows anyone to have everything at once. Her occasional remarks that marriage may not have been part of her original plan feel less like hesitation and more like foreshadowing, as if she senses storms ahead that neither love nor determination alone can prevent. Carter, by contrast, envisions a future that feels almost painfully perfect in its clarity: marriage, a home, and a child who embodies their shared commitment. He openly admits his desire to be a father and spares no effort in showing Daphne how serious he is about building that life together. The weeks ahead promise warmth and optimism, with wedding plans moving forward and hope blooming anew, especially as the couple appears eager to start a family as soon as possible. Yet the urgency with which Carter and Daphne rush toward marriage and parenthood carries its own unease. The faster they move, the more the narrative hints that their path will not be smooth. The show seems to underline a troubling irony. The more meticulously they plan their future, the more likely they are to encounter obstacles in making it real. If Daphne were to discover that pregnancy is not easily within reach, the emotional fallout could be devastating. Carter's public enthusiasm for fatherhood might unintentionally deepen her fear that she is failing him, that her body is betraying not only her dreams, but his as well. And yet, Carter's defining strength has always been his compassion and his ability to adapt. He is not the kind of man who sees parenthood as a single, rigid outcome. If biology stands in their way, he would be ready to consider other paths: surrogacy, adoption, or any solution that allows them to create a family together. As this storyline unfolds, the challenges may extend far beyond medical concerns, touching on jealousy, loyalty, and past connections that refuse to stay buried. The possibility that Carter could have a child with Hope opens a far more volatile chapter, one that could push Liam to the edge if Hope were to become pregnant with a child that is not his. Such a twist would test every bond involved, threatening to turn private hopes into public chaos. Ultimately, the journey ahead for Carter Walton and Daphne Rose is poised to explore not only how they confront the trials of parenthood, but how they redefine family when reality refuses to match the dream. The challenges may be unexpected and painful, but if they face them together, their story could become one not of loss, but of resilience earned through love tested at its deepest level. The fallout from these revelations on The Bold and the Beautiful is swift, brutal, and deeply personal, pushing every character involved into emotional territory they may never fully recover from. When the secret finally comes into the open, the carefully constructed balance collapses in an instant. Liam's world fractures the moment he understands the full truth, not only that Hope has been keeping something from him, but that the betrayal cuts to the very core of his identity as a husband and a father. His anger is not calculated. It erupts, raw and unfiltered, driven by humiliation, jealousy, and a profound sense of loss. In a moment that shocks everyone and cannot be undone, Liam strikes Hope, crossing a line that permanently alters how she sees him and how he will be seen by others. The act itself is less about violence than about desperation, the final proof that Liam has lost control over a life he believed he could still protect and define. Hope is left reeling, not only from the physical blow, but from the devastating clarity that the man she trusted has become someone she no longer recognizes. The secrecy she once justified as protection now feels meaningless, and guilt floods in alongside fear. She understands that whatever love remained between them has been irrevocably poisoned, and the consequences will ripple far beyond their marriage. The possibility that she may be carrying a child tied to another man only sharpens the stakes, transforming her private shame into a looming public reckoning. Liam's rage, once directed outward, begins to turn inward as well, threatening to consume him as he confronts the reality that his actions may cost him everything: his family, his reputation, and any moral ground he once claimed. While chaos engulfs Hope and Liam, Daphne faces her own shattering truth. The revelation that Carter has never fully let go of his past love lands like a quiet but fatal blow. Unlike Liam's explosive response, Daphne's pain is internalized, cold, and resolute. She realizes that no matter how passionately Carter spoke about their future, part of his heart has always remained elsewhere, tethered to a memory he never truly released. The rush toward marriage, the urgency about starting a family, now feels less like shared destiny and more like an attempt to outrun unresolved emotions. For Daphne, this realization is unbearable. She does not confront Carter with accusations or dramatic ultimatums. Instead, she chooses distance as her only form of self-preservation. Daphne's decision to leave town is not impulsive, but deeply symbolic. By walking away, she reclaims control over a narrative that had begun to slip from her grasp. Her departure leaves behind unanswered questions, unspoken regrets, and a Carter who is forced to face the consequences of emotional dishonesty he may not have fully acknowledged, even to himself. Carter is left standing amid the ruins of the future he envisioned, haunted by the knowledge that love alone was not enough when truth was withheld. The silence Daphne leaves behind is louder than any confrontation, and it forces Carter to confront the possibility that his dream of fatherhood, marriage, and redemption may have been built on foundations that were never stable to begin with. As these storylines intertwine, the show shifts into darker, more volatile territory, where love is no longer a refuge, but a battlefield. Liam's violent outburst sets him on a dangerous path of isolation and regret. Hope's future becomes uncertain and fraught with judgment, and Daphne's absence casts a long shadow over Carter's life, raising the question of whether some losses are meant to teach rather than to be repaired. What remains is a fragile emotional landscape where forgiveness feels distant, and every character must confront who they are when their deepest desires collide with their darkest mistakes.